Hello everybody, it's Foxy speaking and Yes, it is Star Wars Day today. May the Force be with you, and may the Force be with you. Happy Star Wars Day to each and every one of you. A special day, as I too quite like Star Wars myself. And going back to when I was a very little boy to a tiny toddler, we used to watch Star Wars with I used to watch Star Wars with my parents and my younger brother, going back, to when I was about 3 or 4 years of age. We used to watch Star Wars together whenever the time arose. And honestly, it's certainly, I didn't understand it at first when I first saw it, but over time I began to understand it. When I first watched the films of Star Wars, it was only the prequels, episode 1 and 2. Those were the only first ones I watched from a toddler. And then within many years later, when the Lego games of Star Wars came out, my brother and I had a PlayStation 2, and when we were little boys, it probably surprised many of you if I were to reveal this. When we were little boys, on our PlayStation 2, we got Lego Star Wars 1, which is known as Lego Star Wars the video game, which is really technically Lego Star Wars 1, but Lego Star Wars the video game, which came out in 2005, within a few months after Revenge of the Sith was made. And then there was Lego Star Wars 2, the Star Wars trilogy, which featured A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi and all that. And then in 2007, came Lego Star Wars, as we thought, the complete saga, which consisted of Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, Episode 4, A New Hope, Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, and Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, all 6 on what we thought then the complete saga. Then we thought it was the complete saga, but then obviously 8 years after Lego Star Wars the complete saga came out, it was Star Wars The Force Awakens. Then 2 years later, 2015 was The Force Awakens. 2017 was The Last Jedi, and Episode 9 in 2019 was The Rise of Skywalker and Palpatine's Return. Says to a Sith Lord who cheated death, goodness me. The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural. As once I fell, so falls the last Skywalker. One of my favourite characters, oneself might criticise me for this, but one of my favourite Star Wars characters is Emperor Palpatine, Chancellor Palpatine, who goes to being Emperor Palpatine subsequently after. But one of my favourite Jedis, I would have to say, is Luke Skywalker. He's like one of my hero fictional characters, Luke Skywalker, who managed to restore peace and prosperity and also brought back the return of the Jedis for good, despite their somewhat assumed complete eradication, which was just incredibly sad, as we all know, in the Star Wars saga. I mean, mainly I generally like train documentaries, I love that, and history documentaries, history films, or fictional films based on real life history from centuries to many years ago and all that. And other things, and other wonderful films, or Downton Abbey at times, or Are You Being Served, Mr. Rumbold, Nicholas Smith, Wallace and Gromit. But aside from my love of, as you know, trains, buses, all kinds of public transportation, and old-fashioned films, heritage films, train films, I do very much like Star Wars as well as my love of trains, buses, public transportation overall, and history, and poetry, and reading a story or telling a story and all that. Speaking of a story, you know, I really love those very, very much, but do like Star Wars alongside them, you know. I've never been to a Star Wars convention or anything, but I do like to watch the films on and off. I mean, but A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, they're all prequels. They were released first, but then it was Episode 1 that came many years later, after the 4, 5 and 6, then Episode 2, Episode 3, and then over 10 years later it was Episode 7, 8 and 9. But now there is a new LEGO Star Wars game that just came out in 2022, called LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, which has much more HD compared to the complete saga, which was released 15 years prior, and it's got all 9 episodes of it. Yes, and it's not something I generally do, speak and promote Star Wars Day, which happens every year on the 4th of May, every single year, annually, or May the 4th, as many of you would generally say in America, or Canada and all that. And I know there are many Star Wars fans out there, since it's such an iconic trilogy saga. It's such an iconic film trilogy saga, Star Wars is, of future science fiction and all that. You know. But, you know, and also, you know, LEGO Star Wars, or Star Wars The Clone Wars. I've seen the movie, I remember when it came out, and then I used to remember, pretty much every Saturday was here in England, my brother and I, because we can remember when it came out on the television, was watching Star Wars The Clone Wars, the television series. We used to watch it every week on a Saturday at home, and we just used to do like nothing but enjoy Star Wars The Clone Wars whenever it was on the television. We really did. And so forth. And Star Wars The Bad Batch, I'm aware of Star Wars The Bad Batch as I've seen it recently, and I have seen an episode or two of The Mandalorian. You know, and also seen a few episodes of The Book of Boba Fett, in which my friend recommended me to watch, and I took my friend's recommendation, and there we are, I did it. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and once again, happy Star Wars Day. May the Force be with you all may the Force be with all Star Wars fans, probably fans who hugely revere it far more than myself, as I quite like it, but not a hugely avid fan. But I do like to watch it at times. And I forgot to say, one of my favourite bounty hunters, which I forgot to mention, yes, there are bounty hunters. Many people think all bounty hunters are bad guys. Well, some have been known to do extremely bad things through and through, but not all bounty hunters are bad, actually. And the bounty hunter I like is the bounty hunter Bossk, the iconic Bossk. As some of you Star Wars fans may know of Bossk or so. And despite the fact that his species has a reputation for hunting Wookiees and he has had that reputation, who was actually a bounty hunter who became one because of his father, Kratos. And he's not all in all a bad guy. He's not too bad a bounty hunter. I mean, despite having been imprisoned once with Boba Fett when he was a teenager, he's not all in all a terribly bad guy, you know. But I best end it here. But a happy Star Wars Day to all the bigger Star Wars fans who may have watched this. May the Force be with you on May the 4th, well, the 4th of May. Thanks for watching. Ta-ta, everybody. Happy Star Wars Day from Foxy. Thank you.